Good evening. My name is Mark Levine. I live in the Sun Valley neighborhood of San Rafael with my wife and 2 children. I run a nonprofit that works on tsunami relief in Asia. Thank you for convening this community building event on this topic. When my wife and I moved to San Rafael, we were attracted to the green parks, strong schools, and distinct neighborhoods of this city. Since we moved to our home in 2004, 12 children have been born on our block. There is either something in the water, or many like-minded families are attracted to these elements of the city. In imagining a Green New Deal for San Rafael, I believe there are additional elements to ensure that our best days are indeed ahead of us. A Green New Deal that grows and sustains the economic vitality of San Rafael requires social equity so that all of our residents may benefit from the cultural and economic assets of our city, and envisioning infrastructure that prepares our city for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. The equity I see in our future brings sustainable neighborhoods, strong schools, and green parks to all of our residents. It is a future where good-paying jobs are local jobs, and local jobs are green jobs. We live in a walkable city, and this means that if one lives and works in San Rafael, it is possible to have a healthy walk for a commute and still make soccer practice in the afternoon. The infrastructure, I imagine, embraces new technologies that will drive our economy. Our storefronts will open up to attractive walking paths in addition to the traditional parking lot. Closed auto dealers will make way for next-generation automobile companies that are 100% electric, whether by battery or by plugging them in. Our parking lots will be equipped to support these technologies. Our buildings will be retrofitted to reduce energy use, which will in turn reduce our city's carbon footprint and create good-paying green jobs for our residents. San Rafael is a city that attracts creativity, talent, entrepreneurs, and families. We must preserve the promise that brought all of us to San Rafael so that the next generation will thrive in the great years to come.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for your statement. Since you live in a block where there's lots of young families and lots of children, and you have a stake in the community, once again, I'd like to ask the question, what do you think would motivate those people to participate in activities such as this, in community regeneration activities and creek cleanups and walking parties and all of the things that emanate from what you talked about? How can we capture, captivate, empower, and motivate those people?
It's a good question. There is renewal in our cities, and a great place to find that is in our city parks. If you go to Sun Valley Park at the end of my block at 5 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, it is crowded like a college party with both children and their parents. And by organizing around that long-term interest that parents have, looking at and enjoying the park and knowing the future that they want to have or hoping for the future they want for their children, I believe that our community's parks are ideal for community organizing. And if we go to the parks, we will find people with that long-term perspective that I think a Green New Deal would reverberate with.
That's something that I never thought of, so thank you for that. Do you think that there's also do you see in your community new leadership coming up? Do you see people stepping up and really beginning to bubble up in sectors?
Well, it's speaking about our distinct neighborhoods, and I live in one in Sun Valley. We have a market at the end of our block, and again, taking the perspective of young families, the market has changed over the years, and people have noticed that the market's emphasizing its liquor more than it had in the past, and that there are people at the park when you're talking to them in the afternoon thinking, what if we could organize a co-op and have locally grown produce in that store, and how expensive is it to rent that building, and then how can we partner, for example, with say the College of Marin or Cal to run a program where we could run a co-op with that locally grown produce and have such a great asset right here in our neighborhood. That would be a draw for people that live here.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Mark, is there any property there that would serve as a community garden?
That's another good question. There, I believe, could be space at the top of Sun Valley Park that is often used for purposes, that people don't want to have there. And I think that could be a place where we grow something that can use a lot of sun. It's called Sun Valley for a reason, right? There is a lot of sun. I think also in the back of the Sun Valley Market is a large space that could be used for a community garden. And I think this speaks again to a vision for what that marketplace could be if we were able to move the current renters out of that space. And it's a very cute building, and it has a lot of potential. But unfortunately, people walk in there once and they see how dark it is in there and the products they have there and the investment that the owners of the business put into it, and they don't want to go back in. And I think that if we were thinking of locally grown produce that could be sold there, that of course the back lot of that market would be ideal for a community garden, and you would have people lining up to participate in that because it's a conversation that my neighbors and I have frequently.